So, I mean, let's talk about the comics and manga specifically. So, you are a fellow manga creator.
I am.
You are also black. So, that's 2 black manga creators in the UK that I know. It's like, I don't know if there are any others. What made you decide to go the manga route for your art, your storytelling? Have you always been a fan?
Yeah, I have been. It's weird. I think, I'm not sure if everyone has that similar story, but like you sort of fall in love with manga before you know it's manga, you know? Like if I think about me and stuff I like when I was younger, you had stuff like Pokemon and you're like, this is different. I don't know what it is, but it's different and I like it. And so I feel like that was my first taste of like, you know, Japanese animation and that kind of storytelling and that style. And then getting a bit older, reading comics and things, I was sort of, you know, Western comics have a lot of like superhero stuff, and that's what you sort of saw on the shelves. But in like, I think it was 2001 or 2002, I came across manga on the shelf. I found Naruto and I found One Piece on the shelf, and I was like, what? There's comics about pirates and there's comics about ninjas. I was like, okay, let me read these. And I loved it just because it was so, the stories that it came with were so different to what I've seen previously, the art style, and also like, I guess, you know, you being young and getting a taste of a comic that actually shows a bit of graphic violence, you're like, whoa, this is I don't know if I should be reading this, but I'm gonna read it anyway. Do you know what I mean? So I think that sort of like attracted me about manga. But then, even though it shows that there is a seriousness to the storytelling that I really connect with, and I think just the portrayals of characters' journeys in that I really connected to, and I think the sort of the dynamic art style I really loved. So I think that's what attracted me to it, that I wanted to sort of recreate that with my own work.
No, I get that, and that whole like I was watching anime before I knew it was anime kind of thing. I did the same, and even like yesterday for our podcast, Story X Story, we were talking to someone who also saw a similar thing as she was growing up. But for me, so I was watching Transformers.
Yes.
Yeah, and
that as well.
Just watching like VHS tapes of Transformers, renting them out at the local, a local video store.
Blockbuster.
It wasn't even Blockbuster. It was
wasn't it?
No. It was off-brand. Let's just say it was off-brand. I can't remember what it was, but it wasn't Blockbuster. But it was within walking distance, because I can't remember, the nearest Blockbuster was like a bus ride away. So it was within walking distance, getting Transformers, and then watching Samurai Pizza Cats. I don't know if you know that one.
Oh no, I don't know that one. No.
You have to look at it's as it
Samurai
sounds like.
Pizza Cats.
Samurai Cats. I really like pizza. That was another one where I didn't even think like this is anime or it's just a cartoon. Really cool.
Yeah.
And then you get into like the art style and everything, and I've got a weird journey because I went a long way without being aware of manga. Because you've met briefly my co-founder Lau, who's no longer involved, but a lot of the influence came from him because he's always been into it, and I sort of like learned from him, and then obviously since starting a manga brand, being way more aware. But it's always been cool to like find out people's journeys and how they got interested and pulled into the world of anime and manga. And you talked about like the characters as well, because I always find there's always that like comparison between like Western and sort of Japanese manga style. I always find like the types of characters that are portrayed are different. Like the types of characters that tend to be protagonists and like leading roles in anime and manga would be like side characters in Western comics, by and large. Generalizing a bit. I don't know if you found that you tend to get sort of more introverted characters who maybe like don't believe in themselves all the time, but then they're put front and center and they have to step up in a sense. I think you're right, because it's like the
the characters' imperfections. Well, characters that feel real are the ones with imperfections, you know. And it's like, I think a lot of manga protagonists have a lot of imperfections, and that's something that we enjoy. We connect with them because we're like, yeah, no one's perfect, and we like to see them go against obstacles that really test them and really push them to grow. And I think for me, reading, you know, Western comics, like all the superhero genres especially, having characters that, I mean, you know, you had characters like Peter Parker who had his imperfections as well, and things like that, but the obstacles for them didn't seem as hard in some cases.
Yeah. I
think, just because, I don't know, I'm not sure if it's the format of the comics themselves, because it's like, you know, with manga, the story is told from beginning to end, and there is no re-editions or redos of that story. The narrative stays the same. Whereas, you know, with superhero comics, there's always new editions coming out, new versions of the story. So you might pursue one and be like, I really liked this one, but then, you know, Batman or Spider-Man, there'll be another version of it that comes out, story retold again, and you have to sort of reinvest in a new character in a new way. And I think I don't know, that sort of...
You're not a fan of that?
Yeah, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Okay. I get what you mean, like, the idea is so, like, one, you've got sort of different versions of the character, different, like, timelines, and in two, they can just rewrite, and you get, like, they restart the character arc, and then you go the same overall arc, but, like, maybe a different artist, different writer, and it's a slightly different story. So, yeah, I've never even considered that, actually, whereas manga, does that not happen as much in manga? I guess it does.
No, not at all, not really. If they do sort of expand on a franchise, then they would probably do like a prequel, or they would do another character in the same world. Like, they wouldn't do the same character. If that makes sense. So, you know, you've got like Sword Art Online, then you had, I think, Gun Gale Online, which was set in the same world, but it was on a different game server. And, you know, you have like Attack on Titan, and then you have they did another one called Attack on Titan Before the Fall or something like that, and I think that was following Levi's story when he was younger, you know. So they're setting them in the same world, and they're sort of expanding on the story, but they're following a different character. And I think that's more interesting because it expands the lore of the world, and it doesn't alter things that are already established. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. You know, because I think it's hard to know or learn about a character if their experiences keep changing, because I feel like the experience make the character, you know. So if in one version of a story, you know, a character typically, you know, like their parents were killed in a certain accident, and that shaped them and their decisions to become a hero, you know. And then in another version, it's like, actually, you know, one parent killed the other and they became the villain, and you're like, okay, that's shaped the story in a different way now, you know. The character's going to have a different personality, or if they don't, why don't they, you know. So it's, I think there's, I don't know, that's my opinion, in the craft there's different ways to approach it, and I think it can become a bit complicated or hard to invest in the character if that's your approach to developing their story arc.
Hi there, I'm Nigel from mayamada. Thanks for watching our video. Don't forget to subscribe and check out the other great videos we have on the channel. You can also check out our universe of manga and characters at mayamada.com. We'll see you soon.